This is a talk show that you can gain information, knowledge about values formation.
Hello, Philippines!
And hello, world!
We are your hosts for today.
And I'm Irene Timblaco.
And I'm Justin De Los Santos.
And welcome to Humor. So, Miss Val, ano nga ba pag-uusapan natin today?
So, ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay tungkol sa values formation and moral education in Eastern's perspective.
Oh, that sounds so interesting, Miss Val.
So, Miss Irene, ano nga ba ang theories of values and moral education?
We have seen the theories of values and moral education from the Western mind in the preceding chapter. We also saw how the various Western thinkers, philosophers, psychologists grapple with the problem of values and moral education.
In this chapter, we should tackle the Eastern contribution to the theories of values and moral education. It is an indubitable fact that Asians experience a diversity of culture. Asia has a variety of culture notes, and each Asian nation has its own peculiar value system.
Characteristic of Asian thinking. In almost every Asian nation, there are peculiar thought tendencies, feeling, tendencies acting, tendencies and motivation, tendencies that persist throughout the different historical stages. These various forms of tendencies are usually referred to as traditional social values or the Oriental value systems. Such value systems have been rooted in the God-man relationship, including man's response to his fellow men and to the world. Eastern thinking is always within a spiritual and religious. Thus, Eastern thought is characterized as synthetic, intuitive, and effective. As an Asian country, the Philippines share common values with other Oriental cultures. They include, among others.
So first, the value of the natural and organic. Every being has its own rhythm of birth, growth, death, or decay. There is a time for planting, a time for harvesting, a time for schooling, and a time for work. Filipino time illustrates this evaluation. Next, the value of family and close family ties. This is why it is said that no amount of success can compensate for failure in the home. As a matter of fact, psychologists tell us that when a man marries a Filipino wife, he marries the entire family of the girl. Next, the value of integration and cohesion. We see this furthermore in the delicacy called halo-halo, where several fruits are mixed with ground ice, milk, and sugar. And in the Filipino lawing jeepney, where religious images are posted side by side with these pictures of movie stars. And lastly, the value of humanistic communitarianism. The very core of the East Asian culture is the quest for human perfection. This striving for the great ideal of human perfection is seen in the following Oriental thoughts. A. Confucian quest of the gentleman of the Renaissance. Buddha, good for the followers of Buddhism. C. The inner tranquility of peace for the followers of Taoism. And D. The mastery of oneself by crossing the sea of humanity into the state of nirvana for the disciples of Hinduism. Thus, a great deal of Oriental learning is a striving for perfection, but not of originality.
To explain furthermore, we have our special guests coming from different countries.
Yes, that's true. And they were coming from Cambodia, India, China, and Japan. So what are we waiting for? Let me introduce you our first guest coming from Cambodia, Miss Moreno. Hi, Miss Moreno.
Arkun and Chum Ripsur to you, Miss Irene.
So, Miss Moreno, as a Buddhist, can you tell or share to us your life experience?
Buddhism originates from the experience of the misery of life. We believe that there's no peace to be found in this world. The only way for man to attain peace is to cross the sea of humanity and become something totally other into the state of nirvana or the fading out of the suffering. Gautama Buddha is personal founder of the religion known to be second to Christianity in its number of followings. In Buddhism, we have four teaches noble truths. The noble truth of suffering, birth or decay, illness, death, etc.
And how about your traditions and culture? And lastly, how about your values and beliefs?
Our tradition, we participated in all formal village festivals, ceremonies, marriages, and funerals. And also, we celebrated 10 celebrations every year. Fourth, the noble of the path that leads to the cessation of suffering. This is the Holy Eightfold Path. First, right views. Second, right aspiration. Third, right speech. Fourth, right conduct. Fifth, right livelihood. Sixth, right endeavor. Seven, right mindfulness. And last, right meditation. Our culture, we merit by giving money, goods, and labor to the temples by providing one of the 2 daily meals of the monks. And we have values that we are such as tolerance, calmness, and taking responsibilities for one's own actions. And we found our values throughout Cambodian culture. That's all. Thank you.
Do you know that there are more than 500 billion Buddhism in this world? And Buddhism don't kill animals and they eat vegetarian diet. Mahayana is the most practiced branch in Buddhism and it's common in China.
And our second guest is coming from China, Miss Yap.
Ni hao, my name is Landibel Yap and I am a Buddhist. And my life as a Buddhist, we encourage people to avoid self-indulgence but also self-denial. As a Buddhist, life become more meaningful and worthy of living if we understood the real nature of things, impermanent, and thus it can help us gain real happiness. And also we live our life with simplicity and mindfulness and calm.
As a Zen, can you tell us or share your life as a Buddhist?
We use meditation to open ourselves to a higher state of awareness, be moral, and keep the 5 precept and 8 precept of Uposatha days. Don't kill, don't steal, don't engage in sexual misconduct, don't lie, drink alcohol excessively, or do drugs. And also, we don't believe in any kind of deities or God, but there is a supernatural figure who can help or hinder people on the path toward the enlightenment.
And lastly, your beliefs and values.
We believe that life is both endless and subject to impermanence and suffering. We also believe that we will keep being reborn until we reach enlightenment and nirvana. By the way, Nirvana means
Thank you, Miss Yap, for sharing your life experience and values, beliefs, and traditions.
So viewers, just sit back and relax.
Because we will be right back.
Finger and clover, they go together. Finger and clover, my love affair. Ano man ang status mo sa buhay, single or it's complicated, pop star or diva, lover ng clover. Lahat sisimutin, sarap ay uubusin, lover ng clover, by Clover Finger.
Simot sarap kasama clover.
Gusto ba nimo mawala tanan sakit sa iyong panglawas? Tumarna og Panyawan Herbal Capsule.
Ang milagrosong kapsula, Panyawan Herbal Capsule. Muwag tangkini sa mga nagkariya mga balatian sama sa diabetes, arthritis kun rayuma, sakit sa pantog, asthma, mayuma sa mga kababayan, UTI, high blood pressure, heart disease, stomach ulcer, insomnia, ug uban pa. Ang Panyawan Herbal Capsule mo palikon usab sa atong immune system. Sa kapait sa kahimtang sa panahon karon, bawal magkasakit. Gamit sa Panyawan Herbal Capsule. Barato na, epektibo pa.
Ako dahil si Dudong Alvin. Gusto lang na ako magpasalamat sa Pangyawang Herbal Capsule. Tungod sa ilang produkto na Pangyawang Herbal Capsule, subat igamit ko aning produkto, nawala akong balatian na dumilan akong yatos. Nawala akong almoranas, bumi, kagid-kagid sa akong kamot.
Ay ako da ay si Dudong Renren. Isa pod kasaksi kung unsa ka epektibo ang Panyawan Herbal Capsule. Kay sukad ko ni tumarning kapsula, nawala pod akong balatian sa akong paa. Nawala akong buneng, kagid, kurikong, likos-likos, binggit, matagtiki sa akong paa. Ug sa wala akong nagdawong, sa tulo na ako kabulan ni tumar aning kapsula, nawala pod ang akong paa. Grabe jud ka epektibo ning produkto.
Panyawan Herbal Capsule. Ado na kini nagkadiiyang hiyas nga makatabang moayo sa atong mga balatian. Base sa pagtuon sa Indira Gandhi Medical College sa India, nagpakita nga kining Panyawan makabuhay sa tawag sa tinagawg o sa hinilonggo manunggal o sa Cebuano Panyawan. Ado na kini pait nga duga nga walay angay kabalakan sa inyong panglawas. Ang Panyawan Herbal Capsule epektibo makawagtang sa sakit sama sa diabetes, arthritis kun rayuma, asthma, mayuma sa mga kababayan, sakit sa pantog, sakit sa kidney, UTI con urinary tract infections, sakit sa kasing-kasing, stomach ulcer, insomnia, malaria, migraine, dengue fever, hepatitis o guban pang balatian. Hinumdumi sa kanunay, sa kapait sa atong kahimtang karon, bawal magkasakit. Panyawan Herbal Capsule, barato na, epektibo pa, mapalit sa inyong mga suking butika.
Ang Panyawan Herbal Capsule ay papalit sa tanang butika. Busa, mga kaigsunan, adto na mo sa Edgar Quality Store, Bagputanan, Nawonglay Daan.
Mahalagang paalala, ang charot ay hindi gamot at hindi pwedeng gamiting palusot sa anumang uri ng harot.
And now, let me introduce to you our third guest coming from India, Mr. Juniel Quintanilla. So, Mr. Juniel Quintanilla, could you tell or share to us your life experience?
I am Jiniel Quintanilla and I'm from India and I'm half Filipino, half Indian. Brahmanism. The founder of Brahmanism is Gonzalo Fernandez Trancoso. In the 16th century, historical and still by some modern authors, the word Brahmanism was used in English to refer the Hindu religion, treating the term Brahmanism as synonymous with Hinduism and using it interchangeably. These Brahmins had traveled from Kashmir and the banks of the Saraswati River via Bengal to the Konkas coast. Another migration happened when Brahmins were called to Madurai and Tanjore, Maharashtra. This is how the Sanskrit cosmopolis spread across India during this period.
How about your cultures and traditions? And lastly, how about your beliefs and values?
The Supreme Spirit is celebrated through the symbolism of the OM. The central practice of Brahmanism is sacrifice, while Moksha, the liberation, bliss, and unification with the Godhead is the main mission. Brahman, also spelled Brahmin, Sanskrit, Brahmana, possessor of Brahma, highest ranking of the 4 Varnas or special classes in Hindu India.
Okay, let's talk about the trivia of Brahmanism. As you all know, Brahmanism is one of the ancient Indian religious tradition because in the early first millennium BCE, this Brahmanism emphasized the rights and the status of Brahman, the highest ranking of the 4 Varnas or social classes in Hindu India. And during the 19th century, the first Western scholars of religion to study Brahmanism employed the term in deference to both the predominant position of Brahmans. However, with India, Brahmanism is generally viewed as part of their tradition rather than as a separate religion. So that's the trivia of Brahmanism.
There are 2 characteristics of Zen Buddhism. First is experiential, second is beyond words, and the third is beyond logical thinking.
And our last guest is coming from Saudi Arabia. Please all welcome NUR-AKKIM Sabtal and Alvin Pautan. Mr. Sabtal, can you share or tell us your life experience as an Islam?
Salam to all people who watch this show, and I am NUR-AKKIM Sabtal, half Saudi Arabian and half Filipino. As an Islam, my experience is, since bata pa lang ako, tinuturuan na kami ng pamilya namin na magbasa ng Quran at magsulat ng Arabic word. So, our tradition, in Islamic tradition, Ramadan is a time of reflection, encouraging Muslims to participate in charity, fasting, and prayer. For Muslim, fasting during the sacred time is significant as it is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The 5 pillars of Islam is belief, worship, fasting, almsgiving, and pilgrimage.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. I'm Mr. Pautan. My experience in Islam or a Muslim is every day we pray o sambayang 5 times a day. Down noon, mid, afternoon, sunset, and after dark. And every Friday we sambayang because the traditional in Islam. And the culture of Islam or Muslim, kailangan magsuot ng ganito. And ang pagsisamba kay Allah.
And lastly, your beliefs and values.
So, I will give the 4 values of Islam. The number 1 is profession of faith or shahada. The belief that there is no God but God. Means in Tagalog is walang ibang God kundi si Allah lang. And naniniwala ang mga Islam na si Muhammad is the messenger of God or central is to Islam. And number 2 is prayer or salat. Muslim pray facing Mecca 5 times a day at dawn, noon, mid-afternoon, sunset, and after the dark. Prayer includes a recitation of the opening chapter of the Quran. And number 3 is pilgrimage or Hajj. Every Muslim whose health and finance permit it must make at least 1 visit to the holy city of Mecca and present-day Saudi Arabia.
Did you know the Allah is the Muslim that title used for what? God. In Islam, God is usually called Allah. However, Allah also has 99 names that Muslims don't use very much. These names include Ar-Rahim, meaning that merciful, and Majid, meaning the glorified. And also, what is the Arabic terms for the worship of God, Allah? Ibadah. The term ibadah is compasses all forms of worship. The word bid'ah is derived from the same root word, but it means innovation. In worship, sometimes the Holy Prophet and those his time never practice.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm April Megalipuso from Cavite. So before, I visited Japan, China, and Cambodia. In Cambodia, I experiences their different cultures, beliefs, and traditions. In Cambodia, I experienced their 10 celebrations. I experienced the 10 celebrations of Cambodian Buddhism. In Japan and China, they also have a religion which is the Zen Buddhism. Zen Buddhism, which is not quietly close to or different to Buddhism, since it is also have a 7 steps of living to a Zen lifestyle. First is that to rise early, exercise, declutter, take a breather, meditate, treat yourself, and don't neglect shut eye. So before I visited Japan and China, I experienced those 7 steps living a Zen lifestyle. Throughout my experience, I also experienced how the Zen Buddhists worship their gods, and they have also a 12 essential rules to live more like a Zen monk. It is more likely for us Catholic, like we have a 10 commandments, while the Zen Buddhist has a 12 rules, essential rules. After I visited all of those countries, which are the Japan, China, and Cambodia, I can say that it was a very nice experience, and you must try it to experience it too. It was like riding a roller coaster, but it is very you will experience the enjoyment that you might not experience in your whole life. So I encourage everyone to go to the places that I have mentioned earlier, which are the Japan, China, and Cambodia, to experience what I have experienced there, because it is a very nice countries. That's all.
Hello everyone, I am Dana Salazar. I am from Manila, and there's an experience that I won't forget in going to India. It is touching the feet of the elders by taking their blessings and saying namaste to greet other people. There's activities that are forbidden in Brahmanism, that is making weapons, butchering animals, making or selling poison, trapping wildlife, and other jobs associated to that. I'm not discouraging you, but I'm encouraging you guys to go to or visit sometimes India, because the people there is so nice, they are so kind, and they are so welcoming to their visitors. Their foods is so delicious, and that's all.
And so, thank you to our nagagandahan
at nagwagupuhang
guest for today,
coming from different countries.
So, Val, I love this episode right now, nakikita natin na we have our guests and they already share what we have right now.
Yeah, they share their experience, their culture, traditions, and their different values.
I love how they approach us. They were very, so I I think this is the end ball and we're going to give our
Pulot of the day.
Our
pulot of the day is respect.
R stands for respect other religion. E stands for embrace the differences among them.
S stands for spread the goodness. And P stands for patronize your own religion.
And E stands for encourage everyone to share their experiences.
And C, commemorate the ancestors or origins where the religion is coming from.
And the last one is T, stands for truth. And I'm Iron Tumdaco.
And I am Justin Del Santos.
And we are your hosts. Goodbye and see you to our next episode. And this is the NUR-AKKIM.